I don't know why I always think that I can help my narcissistic friend. When's the last time that they actually admitted that they were wrong, or the last time they actually apologized for something? A lot of times, if you don't have someone who's honest and is willing to be vulnerable and show consistent change and consistent growth, you can't help anybody. Like, you just have to show up, and if you can't lead that person in the direction, then you need to move forward in your growth. Otherwise, you'll stay stuck forever. See how manipulation was a trauma bond. Yeah. That's going back and forth. Why? Um, let's see. I'm trying to pull up some questions. I saw a couple questions come through, but I'm trying to pull them up. Can this be diagnosed, especially kids? No, it's not going to be diagnosed in court with the kids. In the court setting, you're only going off of the facts. You're not going off of the narcissism, narcissistic abuse, anything like that. Courts don't accept it. Okay. Been no contact for a month, and the constant thinking and debating what I know versus what I try to understand and believe is exhausting. And I know that the truth. Why can't I stop? So a part of Joanne, what part of what you're struggling with is the rumination piece and also the trauma bond that'll keep pulling you back. That's what we actually work on, changing the story that you have believed, because what's happening is you're getting triggered by something, anything. It could be a million different things. You're getting triggered, pulls down the emotions and your feelings. It tells you a story. It spins a yarn. It tells you a different phrase of life that's making you think about him. That's making you think it was so good. Like, I miss him. It was a great thing. A lot of times how I explain it is like, you look at the past, and just like you look in the far distance at like a mountain range, you look at a mountain range, and from a far distance it looks like it's one giant mountain. Then you get closer, you start to realize, hey, there's a peak here, and then there's like a pit, and it goes up to another mountain range and another mountain range. But when you're far away, you can't see that. It's the same thing in a narcissistic relationship. You're like, oh, it was good. Like, there's a lot of good moments, but then you get closer, you're like, wait a second, there was like a good moment here, and then there's a lot of bad in between, and then there's another good moment. They breadcrumb you, they kind of lead you on. So you have to be able, we have to break down that story. I'd love to talk to you, reach out for help. Why could my narcissist ex leave me peacefully? When he left, he destroyed everything in my life. Couldn't be civil. A lot of times it's going off the aspect of like, if I leave you peacefully, then that means you're right and I'm wrong. So I can't do that. So I got to be able to destroy stuff. A lot of times that's the easiest way to be able to explain it. Why does my ex narcissist still act like he hates me? It's been 8 years and he makes co-parenting hell. One of the things I would look at is you can't co-parent with a narcissist. You can parallel parent and use the BIF method, brief, informative, friendly, and firm, as like a framework for communication. Look that up. There's a lot more information about that. And then also like living parallel, like living separate lives where you have no communication except for what's necessary about the kids. Or even then, a lot of times people put it through a third party. Okay. Yes, with the textbook narcissist psychiatrist, he took all my money, a large sum, now left with nothing left, but feel like I need to learn more about trauma bonding. Yeah, 100%. Um, Sherry, I would suggest look at the link in the bio, because it's $7 challenge. Like, that'll give you a lot of information about the trauma bond. How can they be so sincerely vulnerable and empathetic in the beginning for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden start to act like they aren't built like that, like they don't like it? So a lot of times early on, you'll see fake vulnerability. It's not empathy, it's fake vulnerability. And a lot of times it's showing, oh, here's what happened in my past. Here's the trauma that happened. And you start to be like, oh my gosh, like they're empathetic. They have vulnerability, when in reality, they're not being vulnerable about in the moment. The majority of the time, a narcissist is not vulnerable in the moment of like, this is how I'm feeling. This is what's going on. This is what's actually happening. Like, instead, it'll kind of move back. Please tell me why he didn't like to please me, but kept forcing me to please him. And everybody talks about the good sex with a narcissist. Mine was selfish. A lot of times, the sex with a narcissist can be really good for a lot of people, but that's only because it's self-serving. And like, let me make it really great for you, so it further bonds. There's a lot of narcissists out there that the sex is awful. So totally get that. The biggest piece is he feels like he was entitled to you. You were a booty call. Okay. You were a sex machine. Okay. So at that point, he's like, let me get what I want out of you. I don't really care about pleasing you. Like, that's the whole mindset. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about like anyone else. It's just about him. It's about the mask. It's about what's going on there. Why does, no, I did the one. Today was a song, one of the first songs after we started dating. Yeah, a lot of times it'll be a song is a big trigger. A lot of times, yeah. If like the triggers are a big problem right now, that's something I'd say either reach out for help. I'd love to be able to talk to you and work with you, or specifically dealing with the triggers and the trauma bond would be our clarity challenge. That's claritychallenge.net. You can check that out to be able to see. But that's what helps people break the bond. Unless they're working with me like one-on-one, like we'll take them through the clarity challenge, and that helps a lot with that. They know how to reel you in. And the second you leave or show signs, they start to care for you. 100%. Narcissists will change at the very end of the relationship. You need to understand a narcissist will change like that at the very end. Because as soon as you're getting ready to walk out the door, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry. And they show you all these things. The thing you have to understand is a narcissist changes the very end of the relationship because they already knew everything that you wanted the entire time and they purposely held it back. So at the end, they're like, oh, all my manipulation is coming to an end. I can't use it anymore. So now I need to change up. So they change their manipulation. They don't actually change that moment. They just change the manipulation because they change at the end of the relationship. Like if your narcissist is changing at the end, continue leaving because otherwise it is just a hook. It is just a hoover to keep you stuck in the relationship. Okay. My body tremors and shaking are constantly there. Why is this happening? I would say that's a trauma response. I don't know exactly your whole situation, but a lot of times that's a trauma response, and that physically needs to be worked through to change the mental story, which should be MBR, EMI, different things like that. To help you rewire that aspect. Okay. If you want to talk to me one on one, you can go to rawmotivations.com. You can click on the one on ones. We can talk. We can start to process where you're at in your situation, give you some of the tools and the guidelines of how to actually be free mentally and emotionally. If you're like, I don't know if I want to talk to you, you're a narcissist. Totally get that. Click on the link in the bio, escape toxicity, a 7-day challenge for $7. You get lifetime access to go in. There's like 30, I don't know, there's like 40 videos in it. 40 videos that are geared on like stepping you through understanding narcissism, narcissistic abuse, reactive abuse, the guilt and the shame you feel, how to move forward, what the trauma bond actually is, things like that to help you understand, and a community right there that you can post your daily assignments and work towards your healing process. This is what we do, and we work with people on a daily basis.